Yeah, check that new animation, baby. Welcome in to twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. See, this is not where we're in the after morning. So this is probably where the morn-ish for NGB so it comes into play. So for those that you don't know, we go live at 10 a.m. ish each and every single morning. Sometimes it's not in the morning, so we have a saying where we say good after morning. However, Next Gen Base said it should be morn-ish, and I was like, okay, I like it, but I'm not sure. So maybe this is when we use morn-ish, when it's after 10 a.m. but before 12 noon, and then after that it goes to after morning. I don't know. Lotus says good before after morning. I can't compute it. Anyway, welcome in. How are we all doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. You will have noticed that we have the new sexy animation on screen there. I don't think it's on all screens. So like if I jump into the big screen, yeah, we've got nice reduced minimal. Oh fuck! We caught him. What's it? Oh, it's frozen. Fuck, Bib, kick your internet again. See how long, I was going to say see how long it takes him to blink, but then he smiled. God damn it!
I can't help it, lad. I just laugh at anything, Graham. Like, I can't keep serious for anything. We've done this sketch a million times. Put your serious face on, Bib. It lasts for a half a second.
It's even funny when you say put your serious voice on, Bib. Bibby do a deep voice. It's the same voice, just he sticks his chin on his chest. That's the only difference. Okay, if you didn't see the transition, you get to see it now. How cool is this? Whoosh! Yeah! Shout out to T-Man Bones, aka Tommy, from the design team, who put that 3D logo together. It looks feckin' badass.
It does.
Yeah.
Mega.
But for those of you who don't know who we are, you just thought, oh great, they've got a snazzy logo. Tell me a bit more about yourself before I disappear. Well, don't worry. My name is Graham. This is Bib. This guy here on the end of my thumb. It's like a thumb puppet kind of thing. Anyway, that's enough of that. We are Ice Cream Uploads in a true ice cream fashion. This is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. If we do say so ourselves, we are here for the next hour or so to give you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. But it's not just about the stories. We will also give you our thoughts and impressions. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions back, though. If you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved. And we also want to hear your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. So yeah, do feel free to throw them in. And it's important that you do, because we are live on twitch.tv/ice cream uploads right now, but we turn the live stream into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. So there is lots of places where over 130,000 people have watched, listened, and downloaded to this podcast on demand. So please do feel free to get involved on behalf of all of those beautiful people. Before we jump into the news, I've just seen iLumps enter the chat, so I need to remind you that ! Loot drop is how subscribers win prizes, or at least one subscriber every month bags a prize. We give away prizes to people that subscribe to the channel, whether that's a tier 1, 2, 3 prime or a gifted sub. It doesn't matter.
This is bullshit. Rigged.
This is bullshit. Rigged. At least one person gets a prize, and this month it was Lumps. Who have you decided yet, Lumps? Have we confirmed? Are you going to get one of these? So this is the Ice Cream Uploads blackout baseball cap. I'm wearing the curve peak. Bibby just here is wearing the flat peak. You can have one of those, or you can have a video game of your choice, obviously within reason. We're not talking like super special editions and stuff. But yeah, you let us know what you.
He has confirmed with me that he does want an ICU hat.
Oh, nice.
I've got his address. I've already messaged him back asking would he like a curved or a flat peak. Now this is a very difficult decision depending on which side of the fence that you want to go on. It's flat.
It's curved, clearly curved. I mean,
which
side of the fence? I mean, I understand if the fence was in the middle, but like the fence is like right at the end of the garden. All of the garden is like curved peak, and then there's that little dodgy bit at the back that's got all the weeds and stuff in it. That's like, is that part of my garden? Is that the bit in the back? That's flat peak. There. That's so you choose, Lumps. I mean, now you've got all of the information to work off. You pick. So we do have the loot drop where we give prizes to subscribers every month. One person bags a prize, and this month it was Lumps. The next month's prize, I think, was the 2nd, Monday the 2nd. There's only enough room for one curve peak in this town, says Gagad. Did Did you go Curve Peak, Gagad, or are you trying to keep the numbers down? I'm not sure. Are you saying your Curve Peak? I can't remember. Or were you trying to keep the population at a manageable level, like Colts? Curved, please. Let's go, lumps. Yeah. I mean, it was. I'm Team Curve. There we go, Gagad. See that? I like that. Gagad was out there like one of those like woodland commissioners, making sure that population doesn't get out of control. We'll have just enough flat peaks, please. Oh no, it was talking about Curve Peak. Fuck! I fucked all that up. I read it wrong. Fuck's sake. Oh well, you know what I meant. Okay, flat. No. So are you two? I know you're both in the Scotland. Are you two local to each other then? Because if Lumps goes flat, then we need to have like a peek off, like some video evidence of you two just like, I don't know what.
Peek off.
Yeah, I was going to say peeking each other, but that sounds like a completely non-TOS approved version of content. So yeah. Okay, there you go.
I'm just gonna update my sheet to say that he wants a curve, so that when I get back into the office on Tuesday, I can bundle that one up, and you ain't gonna get the wrong one.
Nice. So that should be with you middle of next week then, Lumps. If we send it out Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Some people get it next day, but maybe Thursday. But you're also in Scotland, so if it's anything like Gagad sticker arrived in like minutes. Big Ham sticker and hat arrived in like 7 weeks. So we'll see. You never know. You're in the same town as Gagad though, so that's a good sign. So yes, as well as the loot drop, let me remind you that we are also part of the Coin Army as well. ! Insert coin. If you want to bag yourself any Insert Coin merch, you can do so by saving 20% off by using our code. ! Insert coin in the chat if you're interested in that. But for now, should we talk about some video games, babe?
Do you know what, Graham? Let's do it.
We'll do it. Let's do it. Okay, we will start things off by talking about Lego. And a pun that if you watch the video that we shared on social media, I even used my camera zoom function to emphasize the pun. I must admit, though, it was Bibby's pun. Bibby wrote it. I just read it out. So GG's, Bib. So what's that?
Nothing. I was wondering. I knew you would swig on, right? But I didn't. As I'm writing out the show for today, I'm like, this is fucking gold. Like, I don't know how many people. I don't know how many heads this will genuinely go over, but I'm here for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so if you missed it, the news article that we have from Eurogamer says Lego and Epic Games announce new partnership. They're working on a metaverse together. That's schoolboy. You've missed an opportunity. If you've got Bibby's level of dad punnery there, see this. Maybe Tom Phillips isn't a dad. Maybe Bibby is, and he just can't help himself anymore now. So anyway, Bibby said Lego and Epic Games are to build a metaverse. Build like so yeah. There you go. So that is the lead story. We will look at that. We will then jump into some Activision Blizzard news, and surprisingly, not negative. I haven't read the article, so it could turn out to be negative, but from the top line, Activision Blizzard is giving over 1,000 contracted QA testers full-time jobs, and that promotion comes with a healthy pay increase as well. What world are we in where we've got an Activision Blizzard story that at least starts off positive? This is amazing. Have we turned a corner? Neil! Hey! Speaking about, actually, was you flat peak or curve peak? I can't remember now. I was just about to say Team Curve Peak for the win. But then I'm doubting myself now. I even saw it on his stream last night. Just you, sadly. That's all we need, Neil. Thank you very much. Just you. Gosh, that's more than enough. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Flat peak. Oh, okay. Okay. Actually, do you want to turn around and leave? you go. Go. I mean, until that point is welcome. Now, that's the thing. For anyone, by the way, anyone that is ever wanting to drop a host or a raid on the channel, if you have just yourself, that is more than enough. Don't ever feel like that is not enough, because you triggered the alert. You let people know that the stream is being watched, even if it's just by you. That is more than enough. So genuinely appreciate that. I mean, I know we'll do the same. We'll have streams where we'll be like 30, 40 viewers through the stream, and then it gets late on. People naturally go to bed, and you think, is it worth raiding with but. Yeah, absolutely. For some people, one viewer is pipe dream. Some people struggle to get that. So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'll leave that. You know what I'm saying. We can have that conversation another time. I'll just crack on with the news roundup, though. PlayStation 5 has now outsold the Nintendo 64 in the UK. That's the penultimate article, as then we will finish up because it's Friday with Free Game Friday.
Yeah,
boy. We'll tell you what game you could bag for free today on Twitch. But for now, let's kick things off. Let's talk about Lego. You interested in the Lego multiverse, Bib?
I'm here for it, Graham. I am here for the Lego multiverse.
Well, so is everyone else, and it's fine. Grab yourself a seat because we'll go through it now. Tom Phillips at Eurogamer says Lego and Epic Games announce a new partnership. Whoa, blocks, says the tagline. Lego and Fortnite maker Epic Games have today announced a long-term partnership to shape the future of the metaverse, with a focus on building a safe space for young players. Quote, the family-friendly digital experience will give kids access to tools that will empower them to become confident creators and deliver amazing play opportunities in a safe and positive space, the pair announced in a joint statement today. Details are thin on the ground, but it feels like a major commitment for Lego's digital future and a huge win for Epic Games to be entrusted with the notoriously child-safe brand. What will Epic's Lego games be like? Immediately, echoes of live service sandbox Roblox spring to mind, and it's here you can see why Lego is emphasising child safety so heavily in its announcement. Roblox is hugely successful among young people, but has also been dogged by criticisms of its child safety features, how it polices unsuitable content, and how it compensates content creators. Quote, for 90 years, the Lego Group has inspired generations of children through play, through the endless creative possibilities of the Lego brick, which remains the core of its business, today's press release reads. The company is a leader in defining safe digital play experiences for children, including the development of an industry-standard digital child safety policy with UNICEF and the 2016 launch of the first fully live moderated social app for children. Work on the project still seems early, and today Lego and Epic Games have simply announced an agreement on 3 principles which will guide its construction. 1. Protect children's rights to play by making safety and well-being a priority. 2. Safeguard children's privacy by putting their best interests first. And 3. Empower children and adults with tools that will give them control over their digital experience. And then I would usually stop there, but I do want to jump into this next bit as well, because Epic announcing a deal with Lego, or Lego announcing a deal with Epic, it has some context, because if you look at this now, Lego's video game offering has been dominated by TT Games developed licensed releases over the years, such as this week's just released Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, but it's also licensed its brand to others for dabbling in different sandbox style games in the past, such as Lego Minifigures Online and Lego Universe. There's no suggestion at all that Lego content will be integrated into Fortnite, Epic's main hub of franchise growth. Okay, we'll stop there. So that bit, Lego TT Games, I seem to remember that TT Games lost their exclusive Lego license recently, didn't they? Was that something we covered? Because that probably is where this comes from then. Like, the reason TT Games lost their Lego license wasn't because TT Games were doing a bad job with Lego games as such. It's just that Fortnite offers something else, and if you are locked exclusively to TT Games, you can't dabble around in Fortnite's metaverse because you are working with one brand and one brand only. So, is that it? Will we still get TT Games? I mean, if from the early sounds of Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, people are loving it. I'm genuinely seeing people say it's the best Lego Star Wars, or the best Lego game ever.
Bold statement.
Yeah, very, very bold statement. Very bold statement. But Lego and Epic Games have announced the partnership. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I think this is genuinely mega. Like, I know people are probably growing tired of a live service game, but imagine what a Lego unit, a metaverse would look like. So, like, you'd have one. Imagine it like an MMO, and I know this is the first thing that you always go to when I imagine metaverses or live service games, because it's just easier to be able to put into words my thoughts. So most MMOs start off with a foundation pack. We'll use ESO for this example, which is the Tamriel. That was a foundation pack. Then you'd move on to something like Morrowind or Gates of Oblivion or something like that. These are expansion packs that get put into an already existing world for areas for you to explore, new challenges, new missions, new quests, new armor, new weapons, new whatever. Imagine a Lego world, Graham, right? And we'll use Star Wars just for the base part of this. This is your foundation. You create your own character. You can create Graham. He'd have an ICU jersey and a Lego brick.
Goddamn right.
And then you're in the Star Wars universe. Then the Indiana Jones expansion pack comes in, and you're able to raid the Lost Ark. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never watched an Indiana Jones film in full, so I genuinely have no idea. But amusing, I know. But then you want to set your sails on the sea, and you go to the Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you know what I mean? Like having all of these different places, all of these different things in an MMO Lego Epic Games world. Like Epic Games, obviously they are massive. That's a massive understatement, but I think this is a partnership made in heaven. They're looking at the Roblox stuff. Like Roblox is massive. Like I know what Roblox is. I've played a little bit of Roblox. It's not really my thing, but there was like it's all created by people, so they've made like a theme hospital version of that game in Roblox, which was pretty decent for what I played. I didn't play it too long because I was at my brother's house when I was playing it, so he was enjoying it. I was enjoying it, but imagine having a Lego branding on that. Like Roblox is massive, but Lego is bigger, and they will do things that they know how to do, and they have licenses for. So for me, it feels like a match made in heaven. I'm eagerly anticipating what they have up their sleeve, because this isn't just something that come out of a whim. They would have had meetings upon meetings upon meetings upon meetings and whiteboards full of ideas before this partnership has been announced to people. So there will already be stuff in the pipeline. We might not see it for a long time, but they will already have ideas on the table as to how this partnership can start to flourish. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. The thing is like Minecraft was essentially Lego but digital. So people are like, it's just Lego but digital. Oh, okay, if I can see it. But then you think, okay, well, you did it first, so we'll give you that. And then Roblox comes along, and Roblox was like, it's a knockoff Minecraft, which is a knockoff of Lego. It can't really be a success. But anyway, it was, because Minecraft kids, I mean, this is full-on stereotype and generalizing, by the way, so feel free to correct me if I generalize too much. But Minecraft kids were wanting a Minecraft fix that wasn't being filled quick enough, so using another game like Roblox, it essentially filled that gap, and then Roblox became its own beast within itself. But the thing is, with something that doesn't have its own real sort of identity, is this could be where I get it wrong for Roblox, because I don't know enough. My assumption is that they've copied other brands, got hugely successful, and thought, well, we were in it for the profit, really, and that has progressed to the point where Roblox is always in the news. It's either allowing content creators to make content within the game and taking 90% of the profit for their hard work for it, or exposing children to crap in the game that they shouldn't be exposed to because they don't have good safety filters in there. And quite often you can get brands that are a little bit, they come across as being a little bit like, do you know, like you get those like overprotective mums that, we can't sit on the grass because he might eat the grass or whatever. Lego at times has come across like that, but for the right reasons. They are super protective, not overprotective, just super protective, to the point where they want to make sure kids are looked after. And Epic Games have had the same sort of approach. Yeah, let's throw stuff into our games to make lots of money. Loot boxes, oosh. Actually, do you know what? We're making enough money now. Loot boxes are actually pretty. Nah, we'll get rid of them. And very early on, Epic took that stance. So this is a perfect match made in heaven, because they are companies that are hugely successful, have products that are desirable, and are looking out for their profits whilst prioritizing their customers first. And a lot of people might say Epic obviously is a company that's out to make money. It is. So is Lego.
Yeah.
But not all companies are out to make money and put their consumers first as much as they do. So in that sense, this is a great thing for me. But very rarely will you get a crossover like that where someone can rock up at the table and go, do you know what? Do you know what? We're crossing over. Do you know who we've got in our arsenal? Star Wars, yeah, and that's Epic to Lego, and Lego go, oh yeah, us too, and then Lego go, do you know what? We've got Spider-Man, and Epic goes, oh yeah, us too, and we've said previously that Epic Games was like the Funko Pop vinyls of video games. It's not. It's the Lego of video games, because Lego it has building and stuff in. Although ironically, something that Enzo mentioned in the chat as well, which was in my mind, is how awkward is this? This out of all the time they could have announced it, they announced it just after the fact that the world goes, yeah, fuck building out of Fortnite. We get 0 build modes, and then Lego's just sat there in the corner like, well, fuck. Well, I suppose we better put this press release out then, eh?
I mean, it's fair. I mean, some people, I don't know who these people are, but they might love Lego because of how it looks with its little pixely, blocky aesthetic to it, but they might not enjoy building it because, like, I don't understand why you wouldn't. I just imagine it might be a bit difficult for some people. I don't really have that much of imagination, so unless I have instructions to the absolute nth degree, I'll probably struggle with Lego, especially if it's something that's quite big and quite difficult to build.
Do you know, I recommend that you start with the, because you're a Batman fan, I reckon you start with the tumbler from The Dark Knight, because that is so easy. The fact that all of the shapes are all black, super easy build. Absolutely the best and easiest thing that I've ever built, ever.
That's what I mean, though. Like, Lego it can be difficult. Like, you might think that it's just, you're limited by your imagination unless you're buying something like what you've got there, the Home Alone one. Did you say yesterday that you haven't built it yet?
Still not built it, no. It's not the first one. I've got the Shield helicarrier, which is massive in the loft, and it's been there for 3 years and hasn't been built. So, yeah.
Maybe you can sort that out on your week off next week. But yeah, I love this announcement. I mean, the easiest stick to beat Roblox with is two things: they're getting children to build stuff for them and then profiteering off of it, and also the safety of children whilst they're in the game as well as an absolute fundamental priority for them. But you have someone like Lego with a history of making video games that notoriously are made for children, but they do have elements where people like myself, who's 31 years old, absolutely loves playing Lego Batman. Do you know what I mean? So they have that in there. But like you mentioned earlier, the TT games falling out now. Like, this is now there's a Lego Star Wars, shall we say? I'll put that at the beginning there. It's probably the best Lego game that they've ever created, and now that they might not be able to make them anymore, where do we sit? Where do they go from here? What is Epic going to do to pick up the mantle and run with it? Like, what? How do they do? How do they do this now?
I mean, I think the key thing for me, though, is that they announce a partnership, but it doesn't mention an exclusive, just mentions a long-term partnership. And I think it'll be the same way that EA and Star Wars had their relationship. EA had it exclusively for Star Wars, and then Star Wars after 10 years goes, you know what, this is probably not the best way to get Star Wars out to the masses. It's to, EA, you can still make games, but also we will have some games from other sources too. So I think we'll see that. I wouldn't be surprised, particularly with the success of, obviously, Skywalker Saga. Is that I've forgotten the name of it already. Was it Skywalker Saga?
That's right, yeah.
So with the success of Skywalker Saga in its early days already, I wouldn't be surprised if they're already having conversations going. People are talking about this as the best Lego Star Wars, or the best Lego game of them all. So TT, do you want to make another one? I wouldn't be surprised if they're already on with that conversation while simultaneously going, do you know what, we're actually doing some Fortnite Metaverse stuff. And then this is where it gets interesting then, though, because most games, like, there is an EA Star Wars account and then there's a Star Wars account. EA Star Wars talks about EA's Star Wars games only. Fortnite's Metaverse isn't that. Fortnite's Metaverse doesn't go, other games don't exist, just the ones made by us. So Fortnite's Metaverse, I wouldn't be surprised if TT Games did another Lego game. Let's just say Indiana Jones, because you mentioned that. We get another Lego Indiana Jones. I think there is a new Indiana Jones film or something as well being made. I know there's a game coming, but I seem to remember a film. So let's say we get a Lego Indiana Jones game for the new film. Fortnite wouldn't be averse to, particularly because they're working with Lego, going, oh, you want Lego Fortnite minifig characters in the game as well? I wouldn't be surprised if we see that sort of stuff crossing over, and that's where the beauty of it comes in, because Fortnite goes, other games exist in our game. It's like,
well, you said yesterday the Assassin's Creed one is now in Fortnite. You can be Ivor, and I can never remember the other character's name.
I think they both.
There's two of them.
Ivor, are they? Because I know that obviously the male and female options are both called Ivor in Valhalla, but there could have been another one as well. Was it? It's not Ezio.
I think it was one of the early. It was one of the earlier ones. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, EZIO.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, I always thought Ezio. I've never actually heard it being said, but we'll just say it. We'll say Ezio.
So yeah, Ivor is only the female. Isn't you haven't got the male version in there?
Enzo. My name is Enzo.
My name's Enzo.
Lego is for kids. Like my 34-year-old son. Exactly, Gagad. Exactly. I agree completely. I mean, Lego is for children. And I am my mum and dad's child. I was going to lift it up, but there's too much stuff in the way. I have the Lego Home Alone house that will one day be built. Sat next to me. I have multiple sets that will one day be... Hey, Lego Batman.
Lego Batman.
I don't think I've got anything that I can grab in vicinity that's not a massive box. That's what she said. So yeah, I won't pick that up. But yeah, we've got tons. We've got like the minifigure series. When a cool minifigure, we don't buy all of the minifigure series, but when a cool one comes out, like there might be a cool Disney crossover or a Star Warsy sort of thing, we'll buy them, and then you can buy little boxes that have got little windows in, and you put the little minifigures in. So we end up stood in Tesco fondling these blind packs, so you can try figure out which one is the one that you want. So like, okay, that feels like he's got a sword. And we only need one more, and it's the knight with his sword in his hand. Yeah, nice. We'll buy that one. £2.50. Padoosh! Open it up, and it's not a sword. It's like a hot dog. You're like, fuck! So yeah, no. Lego is one of those things that is for children, just like video games are for children. It's only for children if you lack imagination. Video games aren't for children. Video games are full of imagination, and Lego is an expansion of that. So Lego expanding the metaverse to behemoths of imagination, Fortnite / Epic Games and Lego coming together is win-win. Looking forward to see how that grows. Jumping back into the chats, I would rather go naked than wear a flat peak as well. And goddamn right. I don't know how it was just you. I was in your stream the entire time. Twitch said, "Nah, bro." It's because you were already an admin. It's like, no, not juking the stats. It's got a sword of power. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me again. Other day I messaged a mate saying, this is talk shows, I'm muted anyway. By the way, good morning, welcome in. Other day I messaged a mate saying, what about this for a game? A survival game, either space and planets / dinosaur / wasteland / jungle, but a Lego version similar to Minecraft. Talk shows are muted, by the way. He's an executive at Epic Games / Lego. So there you go. Hacks and spoilers just for everyone. Ooh. See, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that sort of stuff. So what was there was a Lego game a few years back that came to PS4, and it was essentially Minecraft but in Lego, where you could build, but like with huge levels of creativity.
Lego Worlds.
It could have been, because there was obviously like the
It reminded me like a Disney Infinity. Like
Yeah.
you would just getting things to be able to tack onto it. I'm sure it was called Lego
Oh
Worlds.
no, that was Lego Dimensions. We had Lego Dimensions. We still have Lego Dimensions downstairs. But there was just a game. It might have been Lego Worlds that. So they came out at a similar sort of time. Lego Worlds was, rather than like Disney Infinity was where you got the little figures that you'd put on the little dock thing. That was Lego Dimensions. But Lego World was just, I think it might have had a story bit in it. Yeah.
Lego Worlds. The game allows players to build constructions in a 3D procedurally generated world.
Yeah. So I remember, like, for those that were from the Pez world, quite literally Pez world, Glenn from Pez world spent a lot of time. So he was a creative person. He used to make the kits and stuff that Pez players would put into Pez. But I remember him at that point in time building huge worlds. And you can go down to it, like, it's got the full catalogue of Lego pieces. So you're not just going block, block, block. It's like block with a knobbly bit that sticks in another bit. So if you've got the full, like, master builder brain of Lego, then you could do amazing things with it. And so that on next gen, but in a full live service world, so like the Fortnite / Epic Unreal 5 world, where you can probably then cross-generation, cross-platform, share your creations with other people. Baby, look at this that I've just made. I'm not in, I'm on my phone. It's all right, here you go, boom. Baby then loads it up on his phone, like, oh, that's fucking amazing. Yes, please. The possibilities quite literally are endless, so looking forward to seeing what that could be. Enzo says, so they removed building from Fortnite because Lego only want people to build with Legos. That's it. Lego says Lego only. You never watched an Indiana Jones movie? What kind of life have you been living, baby?
Apparently a sheltered one.
Timeless. Good day, gents. Last chat. Happy Friday. Hope we're all well. We're good. How are you, Timeless? What the fuck? I have eaten grass all my life, and look how I turned out. What? Are you okay, Lake? Lego and Epic. Are we best friends? Did we just become best friends? Yup. I've got the Infinity Gauntlet to make. Just haven't had time to make it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you need to have a good set of time, particularly if it's something that's got a little bit of size to it. Are you like which gauntlet? Because there's two of them. Isn't there? There's like one that's kind of like Bibby's Lego Batman sized, and then there's the bigger one. I assume you've got the bigger one because that would take, I imagine, at least a couple of hours to put that together. This one would definitely take us a week because it'd be like 2 hours on an evening, 2 hours on the next evening, 2 hours on the next evening. Or you get that. It's like me streaming on Wednesdays. I'm only going to do a couple of hours, and then you're still sat there at 3 o'clock in the morning, kind of thing.
I go onto WhatsApp because I've seen a message from you. I look at it. Graham Day last online. If it's 1:15 in the morning, I was like, okay,
it's fucking Nietzsche's fault.
All right,
stop. God damn.
Goff.
I've got a lot of Harry Potter Lego. Same. We've got the original Diagon Alley unbuilt. But that's not because we've just not got time, just because we didn't want to build it. I did. I bought it for Danielle, and then it's just been sat there ever since. So, yay. It will one day potentially, maybe possibly be built-ish. Also, there is one in Denmark made up of millions of... we were talking about Lego earlier. Lumps told me James may have built a house made of Lego, like a full-size, legit house. Also, there is one in Denmark made up of millions of Legos. Just want to stop people now. Legos... Nope. That's not the word. It's just there is no Legos... I know that is a contraction that makes it easier to say, but Lego blocks. It's just I find that a very Americanized word. Hey, watch out for all those Legos. No, it's Lego blocks. But yeah, anyway, not triggered. It's fine. Then the discussion turned to a Lego toilet seat and really took a turn. I bet it did. We stood in Tesco fondling these blind, choose your next word carefully, bags. But, actually, that's probably not the greatest. No, never mind. Afternoon, y'all. On early today. I know. We were live in the actual, as Lotus said, we were before after morning. That's the time we went live in the before after morning. Nice. Never got Lego as a kid. It was Meccano, says Lumps. We had some Meccano. Lego was definitely more preferred. Madge says I always had Connects. We've got tons of Connects in the loft as well. Like absolute, it's kilograms of Connects in the loft. But that's not from ours. That was Danielle's. Stepdad used to work at the Museum of Science and Industry in Manchester, and they had a massive Connects exhibition, and then when they finished they just kind of like, well, does anyone want any Connects, and literally brought it home by literal bucket loads. So yeah, I think my parents thought I was less likely to swallow Meccano until
it's massive.
Until one day, little baby Lumps is on the toilet, he's dropping his bombs, and all you hear is like a clink hit the bottom of the porcelain. Maybe Meccano wasn't the greatest idea. Didn't you have little nuts and bolts though that could have been swallowed? Yeah, actually, yeah. Looks a lot more tastier than nuts and bolts. Big one, moneymaker, never going to die out. Lego bricks. I mean, the thing is, Lego about it was probably more like closer to 10 years ago. Was I can't remember the word. It's not inflation, but it was going up in value faster than gold was. Like the cost of Lego sets was increasing in value at a higher rate than gold.
Nietzsche is a bike seat sniffer.
Nietzsche is a bike seat sniffer, I agree. Thank you very much, Nick and Neil. Glad you said that. Triggered me too. It's Lego. It is. Goddamn. Lego Masters USA is a really fun watch, by the way. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. Fuck is this? I wasn't prepared for you to be live this early, Gypsies. Good morning. Appreciation, that's it, yeah. So the value of Lego appreciated much faster than gold a few years ago. It was all over the internet, like articles and everything. It was when Lego just kind of went from being that thing that you used to play with when you was a kid to, it's everywhere again. There's Lego Star Wars games on the Xbox 360 and stuff like that. It was, yeah. big things. Lego Masters is a Channel 4 TV show. I might have seen some of it. Might have.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the adverts. Anything you watched on demand, doesn't matter what channel it was on, was advertising it. If you advertise something too much, it genuinely turns me off the product. It's the same reason why I see promoted stuff on Twitter. I end up blocking the account because every time I scroll, I'll just see the same thing over and over again. Yeah, it didn't look fun to me.
Yeah, I think I saw it advertised. I don't think I watched it. I'm thinking I watched it because there was a Lego episode of The Toys That Made Us, which is a Netflix series. Great watch. I've mentioned it a few times before, and I think it was in the bit that I saw. Can I turn you back on, Bib? Wink, wink. Is it just bike seats he sniffs? Yeah, only because he once tried to sniff a scooter seat, but it was one of those micro scooters where there is no seat and it's just the bit at the bottom, like right near the floor where you put your feet on, and yeah, awkward tire burn incident. It was pretty bad. So just the bike seats because you're guaranteed like a good level of height on it. So yeah. Is that a thing where they had to build things in time trials? Yeah, like 10 hours to make epic creations. Well, now on that bombshell, they will be making some very epic creations as Lego and Epic Games have announced a partnership. That was the headline story. We're going to jump into story number 2 though right now, as Joshua Robertson at the game has this one that says Activision Blizzard is giving over 1,000 contracted QA testers full-time jobs. The promotion also comes with a healthy pay increase. Ooh, nice. Although there is an update that I will come back to. So I'm going to leave that bit because that actually looks like it might not be as positive as I thought overall. But let's see. So it's not often that a positive story comes out of Activision. Do you know what? Did not know this article started out with that tone because that's what we've just been like. It's not often that you get something positive on Activision Blizzard. But that's where we are. Anyway, back into it. So it's not often that a positive story comes out of Activision Blizzard, but it's been reported that over 1,000 contracted QA testers are being given full-time roles in what will be seen as a big win for employees after their continued struggle to unionize. Not only that, but these 1,100 employees that are being promoted will also reportedly be getting a pay increase of at least $20 an hour. Yikes. These details were first shared by Bloomberg reporter. That's a positive yikes, by the way. These details were first shared by Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, who revealed the news on his Twitter account earlier today. The Verge then published a report with several internal emails from Activision Blizzard talking about the move, as well as a statement from Jessica Taylor, Activision Blizzard's Vice President of Communications. According to the statement, all of the publisher's US-based and contingent QA testers will be given full-time employment starting on July the 1st with a pay increase to kick in on April the 17th. These employees will also be able to sign up for Activision Blizzard's bonus plan and will have access to full company benefits. Across Activision Blizzard, we are bringing more content to players across our franchises than ever before, reads Taylor's statement. As a result, we are refining how our teams work together to develop our games and deliver the best possible experiences for our players. We have ambitious plans for the future, and our quality assurance team members are a critical part of our development efforts. While this is a needed and much-deserved benefit for over 1,000 employees, it likely won't halt the ongoing unionization efforts that Activision Blizzard is currently fighting against. While the pay increase meets several of GWA's demands, there's still no information on whether Activision Blizzard is letting employees work from home, implementing diverse hiring practices, or improving disability accommodations. It's a big win for Activision Blizzard employees, but the fight to unionize continues. And then back to the update, which does bring it down a little bit. A report from Bloomberg has revealed that Activision Blizzard will not be giving pay rises to the QA testers from Raven Software that are trying to unionize due to legal obligations under the National Labour Relations Act. Original story below. It does break it down a tad in the context, but it's still a great story overall. Big wins and quite big wins. $20 an hour pay increase, plus long-term job security. Finally, the QA teams at Activision Blizzard are not just people that are dragged in, overworked, paid nothing, and then thrown out at the end of a contract. This good news, right?
Yeah, the job security is always one thing that anyone will look for in employment. The fact that they now have long-term contracts and a cheeky little bonus to go on top of it, fantastic. The one thing that we'll come back to is something that was in the update about the people who are at Raven that are currently trying to unionize. I imagine that was something that got put forward to them. If you tried to unionize, then maybe. Well, I don't know this. I think that as I'm talking it through, as I'm thinking about it, and then it coming out of my mouth, I've just had another awakening, shall we say. Do you reckon that this is then them basically saying, "Look, we're actually doing nice things over here. Don't go to unionize."
Maybe.
Reckon that's on the table?
Maybe. Would I say that if I was thinking that Activision Blizzard were doing all the good stuff? No, Activision Blizzard have just put their employees first and given them a wage increase and given them long-term contracts. That's great, looking after their employees. However, in the context of the situation, Activision Blizzard actively trying to cut out talks for unionization, i.e. they don't want their staff to work with each other because the strength of the many outweighs the strength of the few. Sorry, Spock, for butchering your phrase there, but and that's what it is. They realise that once the workers unionize and become a team of 1,000 staff rather than 1,000 individual employees looking out for their own causes, that they hold all the keys, they hold all the power. So they didn't want them to unionize. So trying to sweeten them up by giving them a shitload of money and some security is either they are scared and panicked and want to stop that and think, okay, we'll just earn your trust now by giving you this, and then hopefully we will still look after you, probably, kind of, going forward, as long as it meets our financial objectives and our goals. So that's one side. The other side is they've just gone, actually, yeah, do you know what? I can't remember where I wrapped my first point up. It's either they're looking after people and they want to give them good stuff, or they're giving people good stuff to stop them from unionizing. It's one way or the other. And usually I'd say, do you know what? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's go with what they're saying. They just want to look after their staff. They realise that they've earned shitloads of money and they want to make the best possible experiences for the gamers. So they want to look after their employees because the QA teams are an important part. Usually I'd want to take that at face value, but with this situation, I'm not entirely convinced because obviously we've been taking Activision Blizzard at face value for a long period of time, and they've been taking the piss. So, yeah. I hope it's come from a good place and it's not just we'll give you an inch so you don't take the mile kind of thing. Where do you think it sits?
With these, I genuinely don't know. That's my issue. Like, I still think I still genuinely think that they have done this to try and entice them to not go to unionize.
Yeah, I think you could be right. I think you could be right.
I think they just give them a little bit of slack and basically just gone, look, we do nice things for you. It's just, please don't go over there and do this because we can't control anything then. And that's the whole point of it. Like, I know employers are meant to have some form of control, but when it's down to manipulation and things like that, then again, this could be seen as being manipulative as well. Where does it start and where does it end? And that's the issue that everyone needs to kind of look into and get a second opinion on. And if you haven't got a second opinion, you need a third and fourth. That's the I don't know too much about it. We all don't know what's going on inside Activision. We can only report on what's being reported from people who want to come out and talk about it. So we're kind of playing second fiddle. We're getting information for 4th, 5th, 6th down the line. So I genuinely don't know. But from my perspective, it kind of feels like we do something good over here, and then we might be able to take the shine off what's going on over there, and maybe people will start to reconsider their previous comments or their previous actions. I don't know. Yeah. It's difficult to call.
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I won't give them the benefit of the doubt because they've had many opportunities to have the benefit of the doubt, and they've had the benefit of taking the piss, like I said. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt for this, but do you know what? Not yet. I will see how the rest of the cookies crumble because this cookie is based on all the other cookies. If you go, we want to look after our staff, we want to make sure we QA are sorted. Don't want them looking out for themselves, though. We want to look out for them, not them to look out for themselves. So we want to make sure they're fine. We want to make sure they've got the full host of benefits that our packages offers, like gym memberships and $28 extra an hour and stuff, because we're looking after them. Just don't try and look after yourself, which is like, well, that's kind of contradictory, is that not? So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I will wait and see what their next, and then their next, and then their next move will be. Before
they've been in the news too long. We've been covering stuff like this for the last 18 months. Like, people don't forget that easy. Like, it is a shame that we're at this point now, but I don't know how much they need to do for people to go, you actually turned a corner. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do they need to do?
I think they just need to actually turn a corner.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. But even if they manage to, rather than putting the brand first and their money in their pockets, they look after the staff. Like, in 2 years' time, they could have done everything by that. They could be one of the best run companies in the world, but they will still always have the asterisk next to the name.
Yeah.
So are they now in a hole that they can never get out of in terms of their reputation? Because let's be honest, people are still going to buy their games, they're still going to play their games. They might end up being out of the news, but for people who probably listen to the show, me and you, for instance, who obviously host this show, we've been covering this for 18 months. Will they always still have that asterisk next to their name, even if the top dogs end up leaving, and then people who are actually nice and know how to run a company and the employees that are with them end up taking over, and it ends up being a well-run company? Will they always have the dark side being put next to their name? I think their reputation will always be tarnished, not in terms of the video games that they put out, but just the company in general.
I think they do have the potential. I think they need to be aware that for the foreseeable, their reputation is tarnished. But people and history does forget, annoyingly, but also rightly sometimes. If they spend the next 10 years being great people, then people will remember. Do you know when it wasn't as great? Do you remember when it wasn't as great? And it won't be that like now, and I believe it should always be mentioned at the start of articles. Activision, great, they just announced some new stuff. Cool new games coming. Don't forget though that they treat their workers like a piece of shit. When they stop treating their workers like a piece of shit, you don't stop talking about that. You keep it fresh in the memory until they've had a good period of, do you know what? Activision used to treat their workers like shit, to the point where actually, do you know what? We don't need to say that because we've got a long period now of Activision treating their workers how people should be treated, and then it should drop off naturally. But yeah, for the foreseeable, that will stick around.
Yeah.
Lumps, thank you very much for the 32 bitties.
Legend.
Appreciate you. That will be the postage stamp covered then. So that's the hat on its way. Nice. Fly More Lawnmower stealing the show. Was that my end or Bibby's end? I didn't hear it. I couldn't hear anything. I mean, I can't hear anything now. I did do the whole ear off kind of thing to listen. But
I can't hear anything, but it could have been. It could have been.
Could have been mine too. It's fence sitting at the finest. Lake says, yeah, polishing their shield only. Neil says, 100% could be either way, but you can't polish a turd when it's been shit for so long. To which Lumps then said, Mythbusters proved that you can polish a turd. Oh, there you go. Facts. Didn't know that. There you go.
What an episode. Just showing shit on the table.
Some dude with a big old egg in his hand.
Yeah. Gets his chamois leather out.
But not that's what it started out. It finished as a shatty leather.
Great style.
Is anyone after an Amiga Mini 500? I am not sure yet. What is this? What? I don't know what that is. Like, is that like a new mini console? Is it like a SNES mini-ish sort of thing? Give me the details. If the contracts they sign say you can't be a union, then there's nothing stopping them from still doing it to protect them further down the line. See, that's the thing. That's where it comes into legal questions. I don't know. Some places it is illegal to have you can't unionize in your contracts because that's taking away. Is it federal rights or whatever it's called? I'm not quite sure. Obviously talking American law here, which I know nothing about. But yeah, some companies try to put you can't unionize in it. It's like saying, well, okay, if you take this job, you're not allowed to breathe. Well, that would be illegal, but just because you put it in a contract doesn't mean it's fine. Bibby's gardener, obviously.
Probably.
He's landscape artist, actually. He's not a gardener. He's the landscape artist. I think you're fine. Code Red, afternoon, lads. Afternoon. How we doing? Happy Friday. Lake says, I will link to it on Discord later on. Koch Media is making it. So Koch, what was the last one that Koch made? Did they do the Atari one? I think they made the Atari Classic or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll move ahead. We'll pick up. I mean, it was meant to be a good story. As it said, Activision Blizzard in positive news, shocker. But naturally, it went negative because because it should do. We shouldn't forget the negatives. Yeah. The positive, though, if you missed it, Activision Blizzard actually have done something decent. They have got 1,100 members of staff that are QA on either short-term or fixed-term or whatever contracts, freelance contracts, whatever it is, and they are now being offered full-time positions with a $20 an hour pay rise each, which is nice. Nice. That's a significant bump. And if it shows, like, if you can see that they can afford to pay them that much more, imagine how much they've been making off of those people. Yikes. Whatever, whether negative before or whatever, it's a good move. The only question we ask is the why, but we'll leave it as that. Yeah. If you want to know the why, you can jump back to the podcast to see, either on YouTube or Twitch. But for now, our next bit of news, Tom Ivan at VGC says 46% of US PlayStation and Nintendo players would consider Xbox Game Pass if it adds Activision titles. So research gauges interest in Xbox's subscription service. So almost half of PlayStation and Nintendo players, that's 46%, in the United States would consider subscribing to Xbox Game Pass if the service adds major Activision Blizzard titles. That's according to research from YouGov, which polled 1,200 US adults and 1,200 UK ones online in January. It found that the inclusion of Activision titles on Game Pass would also tempt 43% of Xbox gamers, 42% of PC gamers, and 27% of smartphone I'm assuming that should be gamers, based in the US to subscribe. In the UK, 48% of Xbox players indicate that the inclusion of Activision titles in Game Pass would make them consider subscribing, ahead of 29% of PlayStation users, 26% of Nintendo and PC players, and 20% of smartphone gamers. So we can stop there. We don't need to go into the rest of it. It's just context. Basically, if Activision, let me rephrase that. If Call of Duty was on Game Pass, then 46% of PlayStation and Nintendo players would consider subscribing to Game Pass. Big stat or what? What do you think, babe? What do you think?
That surely that would come down to how much Activision would be paid to have their game on there. Because if they're looking at the stats, the same 46% of people, like how many people is it that they actually interviewed to be able to get this? I mean, it might just be a Twitter poll. It could have been a poll on someone's website or something. But that's a lot of money that someone will be coming in with. So say, for instance, it's Game Pass for console, £8 a month. And 46% is the whole voting is 300,000 people. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of money that could potentially be coming through your door. What is Activision going to be getting out of that? That's all Game Pass comes down to. We've covered how much Epic give away as free games. We've covered how much how many people are subscribers of Game Pass and how much that they end up spending. How much of that is going back towards the people who make the games. That's always the big deal. Like we've covered, indies end up getting funded basically to make their second game because of how well they've done on Xbox Game Pass. Something like Call of Duty, obviously people will be installing it if it gets on there, but that means that £60 is being taken out of Activision's wallet straight away if it's on Game Pass. It might not be on day one, but people will go, do you know what, we'll wait until it's on Game Pass. It might only be 2 months, we can wait. And then out the gate, their first quarter, down the shitter, innit?
Wop, 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 wop. Do you know it's not down the shitter, though? I was just trying to find it while she was talking there. I think I've got it. Is this, do you know, no one's seen it yet, so let's go. It didn't work in me. Hopefully it works for you.
It did. It works for me. I can see it.
Nice. Xbox Boss, let's go. Did I just see Bibby comb his beard? Bibby always combs his beard. He's like
I always comb my beard.
Bond villain.
It's not quite Hamish or Timeless's beard, but this is too long for me. It needs cutting big time.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I've derailed myself then by typing Xbox Boss into the chat. What was the question? The statement.
So basically, we were just talking about would it benefit Activision to put it on Game Pass in the first place because of how much they would lose on a day one sale, knowing that people, knowing down the road that people will think, oh, wait until it goes on Game Pass, it's £60 that they will not be getting day one because people will just wait for it to go to Game Pass if they set a precedent for that now.
It's interesting. Interesting is a word that I use when I'm not fully sure, but I'm curious. It's caught my interest, obviously. So the thing for me is like, imagine the success that you get for putting Call of Duty and other Activision games onto Game Pass. Imagine the instant success that brings. 46% of the opposition wants in on your product if you do that. That said, the reason it's interesting is that is the number one and number two, I think it was, selling game in America last year. 1 and 2 were both Call of Duty. So imagine how much money you drop instantly in chase of that success. So it's that whole, is a bird in a hand, i.e. 1 and 2 in the most sold game chart, worth 2 in the bush, i.e. 48 whatever percent increase subscription to your Game Pass service. And that's the thing though, is like, we don't have the numbers. There's no way for us to know that. The reason it's interesting is because we can't find that out. But it's such a huge gamble. The biggest selling game across the course of the entire calendar year, and then the biggest selling game across the course of the calendar year after that. All the revenue from those sales just gone across all platforms, effectively. Because yes, you only are free on Game Pass. If people have PS5, they still need to buy into it and so on. But eventually you whittle that away so that people will stop buying it on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch and PC to come and play it on the Xbox Game Pass, either on PC or on the console. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a big stat. I mean, for me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because a lot of people will be their only game. A lot of people would have spent more on games and then maybe buying other bits and stuff with it. But just getting it free on Game Pass allows them to dabble, try it, and go, okay, well, I didn't play it. Other people will buy it and go, well, I spent 70 quid on this fucking game. It's not the greatest, but I'm going to continue playing it to get my money's worth. So some people will play the games for longer because they paid for it. Because it's free, people might go, I tried it, deleted it, I've gone again. Something else has come out 2 days later, so I'll play that instead. So I don't know. There's so many facets, so many moving parts, so many ways that it could go wrong. It's a huge stat to push Xbox to include Activision titles on Game Pass from day one. But I'm not sure.
Someone's losing out on money somewhere if that deal goes over the line. It's just what market do they want to chip in for? You just mentioned there that Call of Duty is games that people will just buy consoles for. That's the only game that they will play. They're not asked about anything else. They will happily, once a year, spend £60 on that video game, maybe buying the battle passes if they're going to be playing it constantly, or they're playing Warzone or something like that. They are more than happy to be able to do that. Will that entice people to spend, instead of the £60, £10 a month on Game Pass and then have access to all of these other games? Who's going to benefit more from that? Is it Microsoft or is it going to be Activision? Will their play base go up on Activision, therefore more people will buy the Battle Pass? Or will Microsoft just want more people on their Game Pass subscription service because they're going to be taking more money from them? It's already a loss leader anyway, Xbox Game Pass. There's nothing out there that points towards it being a profitable business.
There is. Trust me, bro.
At this moment in time, I mean, I have Game Pass. I've been subscribed to it since its inception. Like, I love it. I love the use of it. I can play it on my PC, my phone, my console downstairs. It's a steal for me not to be subscribed to it. But I can't see how they make money from it.
Yeah,
but that's not my responsibility.
I mean, you've got a great service, so fuck yeah.
Exactly. It's the same with Netflix. Netflix shouldn't have as many things as it does on it. It's 100% a loss leader. We've seen something the other day because it was Channel 4's meant to be being privatized, and Netflix apparently owe 3.6 billion. How can you still pump stuff out if you owe 3.6 billion to all these various different places because you've lumped a load of money onto creating a film that hopefully will bring people to your platform? They may watch the film. They might not subscribe the next month, but you still owe 3.6 billion out to people. It's bizarre how these loss leaders can continue to work. And then in football, if you go into administration, that's it. Your club might end up folding. Like it's bizarre how it can work for one thing and then not for another. But that's, I suppose, potentially who you're in bed with and who you can get permission off to continue trading. None of these things seem viable options, yet here we are.
Here we are. Great book to read on this subject, How to Lie with Statistics, endorsed by Trump and Bill Gates, says Lumpson Enzo. In the video of Bill getting interviewed, it was in his top 5 recommended books everyone reads. Sorry, it's in his top 15 books. Are you lying with statistics there? Is that on purpose? Statistics can be twisted. The concept is heuristic. One of my favourite song lyrics as a data analyst. Nerd. Also, absolute. That's a ball ache to say. So I'm a big fan of lyrics like that. Business seem to live in the red these days. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which is bizarre. Bizarre.
Have collateral though, don't they? That's the point of it. They have collateral. Like if you are using United as an example of this, you have assets in your club that you can get rid of. There might be billions in debt, but you have a football team that you can sell and have assets collateral. The stadium, everything is collateral to them. So if they get told that they have to sell shit, they can move all that shit on. They might not be able to get full price for it, but they have collateral there ready and available. That's all it is. Businesses who have collateral, chances are you've got to be all right because you can sell stuff. People won't want to say, okay, you need to do this to get rid of all of that. Like they won't do that because they know you're going to still keep on paying interest on the stuff that they have lent to you in the first place.
Do you know what though? Do you know what is selling and is being sold and is a good form of collateral? Is the PS5 consoles? It's not really the tangent I wanted to go with, but we'll go with it anyway because I've just seen how far over an hour we are. Hayley Williams at GameSpot has this article. Hopefully this shows up right for you. It's kind of janky on my screen preview, so hopefully it's fine for you. If not, I'll read it to you anyway, so you don't have to read it. The PS5 has now outsold the N64 in the UK. It's an impressive figure considering how difficult it still is to find PS5 stock. Despite ongoing stock shortages, the PS5 just passed a new sales milestone in the UK, overtaking the classic N64 in lifetime sales. The PS5 is also closing in on the Game Boy Advance, while the Xbox Series X and S is still behind its competitor, having surpassed the GameCube in sales. The figures come from GamesIndustry.biz head Christopher Dring, who posted the stats in a tweet, adding that we'd most likely see more records broken if there was more stock available, and that is likely going to be a long console generation. Tweet from Chris Dring, PS5 is now bigger than the N64 in the UK and is closing in on the Game Boy Advance. Xbox Series X overtook the GameCube a few months back. Okay, if there was more stock, we'd be seeing some serious records breaking here. Long generation ahead, just in case you didn't understand the paragraph that I'd read before. There you go. Don't really need to go through the rest of it. We kind of get the idea. PS5 still continues to sell shitloads. This article confirmed that the Xbox Series X and S is a piece of shit, and people should give up on it. Thoughts, babe? That's not true, by the way. Obviously, I'm just stoking. I know there's a lot of Xbox people in the chat. Just stoking. What are your thoughts, babe?
So just this is only a Wikipedia chart, so take what I'm about to say with a pinch of salt. But with PlayStation 2 at the very top with 115 million, and PlayStation 5 now with 17.3 million consoles sold, the PlayStation 4 was at 116 million. Okay, so there was 40-ish million dividends there in between. Where do you see this going? Like, obviously, there's consoles that people want, but they can't get hold of yet. I mean, we're having trouble in the office trying to get hold of them. Where do you see PlayStation hitting? Do you reckon that they're going to ever break the 100 million mark? Do you reckon that they could be close? I mean, I can't see PlayStation 2 ever getting beaten. And Nintendo, dirty bastards. They put the entire Nintendo DS family together, including the DS, the DSi, the 3D, the 3DS, the 3DS XL. Put all that together. The Game Boy, they lumped in with Game Boy Color and all that stuff, and whatever else that they could.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Nintendo went throwing in like the Citroen DS3 and the Citroen DS5 and stuff in there as well, just to add to it. They're DSs as well.
Dirty bastards. But where do you see PlayStation ever breaking 100 million? And if they do you reckon they can go on to beating the PlayStation 2?
What did the PS5 get, did you say?
PS5 currently is, again, according to Wikipedia...
Sorry, PS4, I meant to say.
Oh, sorry, PS4, 116.
116. So if PS4 got 116, I can see the PS5 breaking that. I think the numbers are artificially inflated by supply and demand at this point in time. It's just a matter of how long that lasts for and whether that has any negative effects because you can get fatigue with wanting something. So the fact that the PS5 is wanted incredibly by everyone right now because they can't get it. As soon as you can't have something, people want something. It's like, oh, there's a queue for things. Let's join that. Nice.
Yeah.
So people want stuff because it's fashionable. That can often have long-term negative effects where people go, do you know what? I remember the faff with that and it wasn't worth it. Let's not bother. Plus, one thing that PlayStation had in the last generation was a free run. Xbox wasn't great last generation. Xbox is pitting itself to be in pole position. That wasn't meant to be some sort of like crappy F1 analogy there, by the way. It just turned out to kind of sound in a little bit like that. You would happily put money on either brand this generation being the one to be the winner of the generation. If there was a console war, there shouldn't be. Last generation, you would only say Xbox if you were an Xbox fanboy. Yeah, arguably. This generation, it could go either way. Xbox has the better proposition. PlayStation has the stronger foundations. And if PlayStation didn't have last generation to fall back on in terms of its user base and everything, Xbox would be gone. So last generation, it hit
Xbox have more drops, by the way. Xboxes are readily more available than PlayStation's are at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's still got to catch up, though. What I mean is, like, PlayStation has the success of last generation, which starts early in the generation. But if you go back to the Xbox 360 generation, PlayStation were nowhere until the end, and then they caught up ground quite a lot. Obviously, Xbox tricked themselves up then at a key pivotal point, which gave the next generation to PlayStation. So at this point, though, PlayStation is still a desirable product, even though it doesn't necessarily have the best offering on the market. Listen to Gary Whitta from Kind of Funny and people go, okay, what console would you recommend for someone that goes, which console should I buy? He'll just go, it'll be straight up Xbox every time, because right now there's not enough PS5 stuff that would justify me telling someone to go out and buy a PS5, because there's not enough PS5 exclusives right now that would put that ahead of what you get with Xbox Game Pass. So if someone says, which console should I buy? An Xbox Series X with Game Pass. If you want a best of the best, that's what you'd get. Series X with Game Pass. Boom. So understandable if journalists and balanced journalists as well, not a fanboy, are at that level saying Xbox is ahead, then at that pace, Xbox has to erode that, which, coming back to the point of PlayStation's just outsold, the PS5 just outsold the N64, that is fine right now while the supply and demand problem dukes the stats. When there is a larger supply, it then comes down to the quality of the services and the games that are on offer. And PlayStation does have some big games in the pipeline, absolutely does. But they didn't have what Xbox has on the other side of the fence last generation. So they hit 115 million last generation. Do I think they could have hit 115 million this generation? Yes. However, Xbox could be the one that stops them from doing that with the power of their offering that they have. If I want to say people wake up to it, it always seems bizarre us saying that in this podcast, because we have obviously so many people that are switched on to the industry in this chat. But in the wider spectrum, a lot of people are just like, yeah, PlayStation, that's the one everyone gets. That's the one that you can't buy because everyone gets it. And people just follow that, like, PlayStation. But if the wider world wakes up to what Xbox offers, then it could quite possibly be that stops PlayStation. Like, if we're saying it was like 2-1 kind of thing in last generation, it was almost like if PlayStation's got 115 million consoles, Xbox was, 60 million-ish. So, yeah, PlayStation could be stunted quite badly if that switches the other way around. Because you don't just make more gamers. Okay, Xbox has just suddenly made more gamers appear, so they've also got 120 million as well. A lot of those switch allegiance. So if PlayStation doesn't hit 100 million, it's because Xbox has got themselves up to 80, 90 million or 100 themselves. So, yeah, it is an impressive figure. It's good to see it coming. It's just it's hard to predict how the rest of the generation goes. Enzo says PS5 for the win, because he knows. Because his name's Enzo. Dreamcast. Oh, I missed a comment because